ahead. Go ahead.
Episode 4 of Raiders Coast to Coast. We're back coming live to you tonight. Myself, Jeff from New England Raider Booster, and my partner.
What's up, LV Raider 10?
So what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna go over the Miami game from this past weekend, and we're gonna talk a little bit about not a little bit. We're gonna talk a lot about the game coming up this weekend, which is us versus the Broncos.
Yes, sir.
So we lost to the Dolphins.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody expected that, if they're surprised, but it is what it is. It was a better showing, I thought, on the offensive side.
Definitely offensively for sure. Yeah. We were able to move the ball, and I mean, we weren't getting in the end zone, but I mean, it's a start, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely some highlights, not very many, but there were some highlights. Um, so, gonna let you start it off with what you want to put up for. We're gonna start with the topics here.
Yeah, so I put up right here Dolphins defeat the Raiders 34-19. As we were kind of already touching on, the Raiders could could move the ball offensively but could not get into the end zone, and that's what it seemed to be like old Raiders, back when we still had Derek Carr. That was the whole thing. The Raiders could move the ball. They had a really good offense, but we couldn't get in the end zone. And that's what it looked like, this week. We were able to move the ball in the first half, at least. We were able to move the ball. And but the difference is that the Dolphins capitalized on their two possessions in the first half, and the Raiders did not. The Dolphins got into the end zone, and the Raiders got field goals. So that was the big discrepancy there heading into half, and then after halftime, I mean, I don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing we got Carlson. Other than that, we'd score 0 points every week.
Yeah,
So at
honestly.
least we're getting field goals. I mean, that's better than nothing. Um, yeah, it was. Plus, I mean, there were a couple of good penalties on that first drive too. That you know that hurt us. But it, I saw what I thought I would see with this game coming out with the coaching changes that were made. Um, the the playability of the front line was a little bit was better. It was an improvement.
Yeah.
Um, Especially when you look at what we've gone through so far in this season with the offensive line. Um, the pocket protection, I think, was a little bit better this game.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is miscues from Minshew. Yeah, kind of rhymes.
Yeah.
He just sucks. I'm sorry. I cannot stand watching him play. It's painful to watch him play.
Yeah, Gardner
Um,
Minshew is yeah, he's
uh,
been bad pretty much all season. And I touched on my reactions on my YouTube.
mhm.
It seems like every week, like, we're in a either position where it's relatively close, I guess, and then Gardner Minshew gives up the ball, and then it just takes off from there. The other team just has like the ball for forever, or they score so many points, and we can't seem to catch up. But it always stems from a turnover that's caused by Gardner Minshew, whether it's a fumble or an interception, something
Yeah,
that he does. So yeah, it seems like that's every week now.
yeah. It's just it's like a broken record.
Right.
They suck. We say they suck all the time. So it's just like it's this vicious, repetitive cycle of watching this team come out and just painful to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
so, I
definitely.
mean, the only bright spot really on offense for us is Brock Bowers. The play of JPJ now that he's solidified his spot as the starting center.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Brock Bowers is just the kid's just amazing.
He is
I
so
mean,
good.
I knew he'd have a good year based on his just pure talent.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was going to be like this. I mean, he's leading all tight ends,
Yeah.
not just like rookie tight ends. He's leading all tight ends, including guys like Kelsey
Mm-hmm.
and Kittle and Andrews, these guys that are always, at the top of their game,
Right.
and he's blowing them out of the water. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
about
great.
time it's about time we've got a bright spot on the offense that's,
Hmm.
not a big name wide receiver.
Right.
It's a tight end, you know? So it's like, other than that, it's just, the running game's nothing to write home about,
The run game has
you
been
know?
absolutely horrendous. Basically all season. This game in particular too, though. I don't know. We just can never run the ball ever. I don't know why. But speaking of Brock Bowers, let's go ahead and pull up his stat line. Brock Bowers was 13 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. And I'm hoping to see a lot more Brock Bowers. Honestly, he like everybody has been saying, he's kind of our only weapon offensively. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously we have good like supporting receivers with Jacoby Myers, who's probably one of the best number two receivers. But that's what he is. He's definitely a number two receiver for sure. But he,
Yeah, I mean, he could be a starter on a few teams out there, but not like an every he wouldn't make it on some teams as the number 1, but he could be
right,
for some of them.
right, exactly. And so
Like us, he's the number 1 for us, but just by default because we don't have anyone
right,
else that can take that spot.
exactly. And he fills that role to perfection. Honestly, I really like him as a number two receiver. I think he's, like I said, probably one of the best. Um, and then we have like some speed guys or whatever, but yeah, as a number one like big time option, I mean we've been pretty blessed at the tight end position specifically. The Raiders have a pretty good history with of tight end positions, but prior to Darren Waller, I don't really remember like a really good tight end. Zach Miller in Oakland, but that was early 2000s ish, late
Yeah, I
mid
mean, you gotta go
2000s.
back a ways. You gotta go back a ways. I mean, you had Dudley, he was highly touted coming out of, Ohio State, but he just couldn't catch the ball on a consistent basis. We
Mm-hmm.
just called him stone hands.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Jesus, in all honesty, probably the last tight end that's even comparable to what Brock Bowers is now, you'd be going back to Todd Christensen
Mm-hmm.
and Dave Casper. I mean,
Yeah.
our
Exactly.
tight ends have always been kind of middle of the road through the years. You got a bona fide playmaker and a tight end is big. I mean, it's the way of the league now too. If you look at it, a lot of the tight ends for a while kind of slacked off. You had like one or two top tight ends
Right.
in the league, and now there's more of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Brock Bowers is going to be one of those for a long time to come. I
Yeah.
just hope he's with us the whole time and doesn't want to jump ship when his contract's up.
Right.
Just looking at his stat line, I mean, he had that one touchdown. It was a 23 yarder.
Mm-hmm.
He started out the first half. He had 5 catches in the first half. A lot of that I also think had a lot to do with AOC coming in. Also, you know,
Yeah.
AOC recognizes the fact that it's getting the ball in this kid's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Minshew just bad decisions half the time. That's the problem with Minshew.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, coming up, looking forward to the Broncos. The the first game against the Broncos in Denver was kind of his coming out party. He had that really big over the top catch and the long run for the
Yep.
touchdown. I believe that was his first one of the year, right? His first touchdown of the year.
But the Denver game, yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
because he's
yeah,
got what 3 on the season now.
something like that, something close to that.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was really his coming out party to not. I mean, Raider Nation, of course, always knew like the potential that Brock Bowers had, but that was him solidifying himself as the next kind of big tight end. Uh, young guys coming out for sure.
yeah.
And so let's go ahead and speaking offensively again. I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but the offensive line has improved mostly on the passing side, on the pocket protection side of it. What do you want to tell me about that?
It definitely. I did notice when I rewatched the game yesterday. I did notice that there was definitely an improvement in the overall pass protection. But I
Mm-hmm.
think it's also because the line is so different now
Right.
versus what it was prior to the bye week. Um, I mean, like I said, with JPJ cemented solely now as your center going forward, that itself makes having a good center like that or a great center changes everything on your line
Yeah.
because everything that splits off from right guard, left guard, out to your tackles, everything kind of melds nicely depending on how your center plays because your center is basically the quarterback of the offensive line.
Exactly what I
You
was gonna
know,
say.
from my own history of playing the position, through the years, that people sometimes don't realize how important the center is. Not just to snap the ball, but just being that anchor point in the middle of that line because that's where the most your big heavy guys on defense are crashing in.
Yeah.
You don't have a good center, your line's trash. We've
Exactly.
got that. You know,
Definitely.
even the run blocking was a little bit better this week, but the
Right.
running backs can't move like Zeus.
Yeah.
I said it on the show last night. Um, I swear to God, that kid's ankles don't flex, don't move. He just runs straight, doesn't make cuts.
Yeah,
It's
I said the same thing last night too on our other show. Uh he cannot find a hole at all. I don't know.
no.
He cannot find the hole, or he doesn't have enough patience to wait for the scheme to, open it up for him. I'm not sure what exactly the problem is that he has, but I don't know. It's not
But
working.
it's like he runs with
Tunnel vision.
blinders on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like all he sees is what's directly in front of him.
Mhm.
Doesn't see that, oh, there's a little bit of a daylight over here. I can go this way. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, the play calls for me to go between the tackle and the guy. That's where I'm going.
Right.
You know, could you imagine if Barry Sanders did that when he was back in his heyday? He'd have no yardage.
Yeah.
you know, if he didn't
Exactly.
make moves, forget it. It's just that's what your running back's supposed to do. Yeah, you aim for where the play's supposed to go, but you need to make adjustments, and he just can't. Madison does.
Yeah, exactly. That I really like Alexander Madison. He's ran extremely hard this season for sure, and
Hmm.
it's disappointing that he's probably going to be a little banged up this week. I don't know if he's going to play. I seen the injury report today.
Yeah,
I think actually both of them, Zeus and Alexander Madison, didn't practice today, so that's
yeah.
kind
I
of low on
actually
backs
didn't.
already.
Yeah, I didn't look at the injury report today. I should have. I just had so much going on today.
Yeah,
That's why I did all my prep yesterday for it.
yeah,
But again, the offensive line, definitely played better.
mm-hmm.
You know, but this week will be a true test. We'll get into the whole Denver thing once we start.
Yeah,
But I will say the one common denominator I see that still sucks on the line is Parham. I'm sorry. I've rewatched that Dolphins game, and I can't tell you how many times I saw him as the play's going, even though it goes a little bit beyond where he's just standing there, not even making an
yeah,
effort to get his lumpy ass down and throw a block on somebody.
yeah,
And then you've got JPJ on that run with Madison, running stride for stride with
mm-hmm.
Madison down the left hand side,
Showing
keeping
full
pace with
effort.
him the whole way.
Yeah,
Yeah, that just shows me right there that this kid wants to play. He plays hard. He plays with intensity. And that's what guys like Palm don't have, and it shows.
yeah,
It's like I mean, we're not there when they practice, so I don't know what the coaches say to him, but it's like someone's got to light a fire under this guy's ass, or bench him and put someone else in there.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
get somebody else out there that wants to play, that wants to do the job.
Yeah,
It just reminds me of the guys there to collect the paycheck is what it feels like.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Parham is known definitely for being a pass protection kind of offensive lineman for sure. So whenever we run,
and he sucks at that too. I'm sorry. I am not high on Parm at all. I know a lot of people are, or some are, and it's 50-50 out there with him. I got no use for him. I'm sorry.
I'm personally a big Parham believer. I think he's really good. I'm definitely not probably not this game for sure. The tape
Yeah.
pretty much tells that. But going back to JPJ, it's really rare to see someone do that kind of stuff in that offensive line position. Going balls to the wall, you know, following the ball carrier all the way downfield to try to still make blocks. Um, it
Hmm.
reminds me of all pro guard Quentin Nelson. You know, Quentin Nelson, I remember when he first came out and he was like the best offensive lineman in the NFL. He was making those plays downfield. He wouldn't let nobody by him. And that's what I feel like we have basically a Quentin Nelson coming into our offensive lineman. And that is something that you cannot take for granted for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, he's just, you know what it is? It kind of reminds me of the old school Raiders, like with Art Shell
Mm-hmm.
and Gene Upshaw. I mean, these two guys played their asses off.
Right.
You know, the old the old play they used to call it, the time they used to call it, Highway 63, which was the two of them running to the left, and you just running back, just get behind them, and that was guaranteed 10 plus yards every time they did that.
Right.
And that's kind of what JPJ reminds me of is, he's that same breed,
Mm-hmm.
like such a hard nosed player. He
Yeah.
wants to hit someone. That's what I like.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
always looking to hit the second level, hit the linebackers, get them out of the way, you know. So if we get the right pieces around him, the best we can for this season, you'll see more improvement on the front line.
Yeah.
But going forward next year, I mean, that's a definite major need we have is, better offensive lineman for sure.
Yeah,
He needs
definitely.
compliments. He needs somebody comparable next to him is what he really needs.
Yeah. I think we're about one more really good left guard away, and I think we have a really solid offensive line, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's if, Cole Miller's not injured and Dylan Parr actually came to the stadium to play that week. But let's go ahead and shift a little bit. We talked about a lot of positive stuff. Let's talk a little bit about a negative thing. Tell me about that big penalty that the refs, saw the jumbotron,
Yeah.
threw the flag, and was like, "What is going on?" Only the Raiders,
The,
right?
the,
Only the Raiders.
yeah, no, exactly. You're right too. That was the most ridiculous and bullshit thing I think I've ever seen. I mean, so bad that even the announcers was like, they can't do that. So for those that didn't see it, the Dolphins had the ball. They ran a play. They ended up getting the first down. Um, they got the first down, and then they had a penalty on the play. I think is what it was. I forget exactly how it went, but they had a penalty, and then they called it. They changed they moved the ball or whatever, or in the process of getting ready to move the ball. On the big screen, they showed the replay of that play, and clearly you saw a face mask by one of our defense. I forget who it was on the runner. And then the ref saw that on the screen, and the next thing you know, they drop another flag. Actually, two of them dropped flags, and they assessed us the penalty, so they made it offset, and it kept the drive alive for the Dolphins. So it's like, are you? No, that's yeah. The Dolphins didn't get the play; they didn't get the first down, but it would have been, it would have been a loss for them. So it's like
Right.
just the fact that they watched that on the screen and then threw the flag and assessed us the penalties or the penalty. And the announcers like they can't use that type of replay to change a play or throw a penalty flag for it. It's just another example of us getting screwed by the refs. And I think the ref was Hussey too.
Oh,
I
probably.
think.
I feel like he hates the
I
Raiders
think
for
it
some reason.
was. Oh God, he can't stand us. And feelings mutual after this weekend.
All right, I
Yeah,
think
that was bold.
yeah, I think we definitely, revisiting this game probably opened up. We're done opening up some old wounds. Let's go ahead and move forward. Let's talk about
Well,
what
just
the.
real quick, too. Don't
Go ahead.
forget. Don't forget, too. We did take some hits on defense too for injuries.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
Bennett get knocked out. That hurt. Um, it didn't look good.
Hmm.
There's a chance that they haven't said what it is,
Right.
but I know from people that have had that type of injury before, um, and it looks like possibly maybe a broken clavicle.
Yeah.
And if
Right.
that's the case, he's going to be done for the season. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, I just play one on TV. Um, if that is the case and it is a collarbone issue like that, I mean, he's gonna be done for the year. That's not something he can come back from before the end of the
Yeah.
season. You know, so that's a huge hit right there too. So I mean, we've already got a depleted secondary, and now we're losing even more guys.
Yeah, him and then Jack Jones as well. I seen
Yep, Jack
so
Jones looks like he fell and broke his ass or something. He just landed way on his butt. It's like I broke my ass.
yeah, I seen both of them today too. We're not practicing as well. So, like you said, they haven't designated exactly what Jacorian Bennett's injury was, and that's going to
Yeah,
be extremely interesting when they do come out with that information. What, the diagnosis is there, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess, because our cornerback room is like really thin right now too. So that's,
yeah, it is.
and then I don't know if Nate Hobbs is was practicing as well. I don't remember if I seen if he was or not, but I know he was a little
I
banged
haven't
up
seen
as
that
well.
either.
Um, but yeah, so let's go ahead and move forward to the Broncos.
Mhm.
So the Broncos absolutely obliterated the Falcons the
Yeah, they did.
this past week. The Broncos defeat Atlanta 38-6, and I mean that Broncos defense is just it's really good. I hate giving other AFC West rivals compliments, but that defense is really fucking good. And Atlanta is no joke offensively. I said it yesterday as well. They have weapons. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. Kyle Pitts is supposed to be one of those unicorn tight ends as well, but they got some guys over there. Um, but yeah, let's talk about that Broncos defense because they are absolutely no joke.
Well, here's how I look at this. This is the first game this season that you and I are doing this show where we've got already a game that we've played against the next week's
Yes.
opponent earlier in the season. So we played the Broncos early in the season. I think it was week 5, you said, right?
Yeah,
Week
week 5.
October 6th. And they beat us. They beat us 34-18.
Mm-hmm.
And I rewatched that game too. And the way that game started, um, and how it ended was ridiculous on all aspects. Because if I said this last night, if you watched just the first half of that game and then shut it off because you had to go out somewhere and didn't watch anymore or listen to it, you would have walked away thinking, we won this game.
Oh yeah.
But then when you go and look at the final score, holy shit, we lost 34-18. We had a great first half, and then the second half it just went to crap,
Yeah.
you know. Um, Minshew is just he's just that defense, and don't forget that defense has only gotten better since we played them.
Yeah.
They're even better now.
Mm-hmm.
They've played some tough teams and beat the snot out of them.
Yeah.
So that defense has even stepped up even more.
For sure.
Minshew threw 2 interceptions in that game. One of them was a pick six for 100 yards. It's like, you shitting me?
Yeah.
So I mean, once that happened, that just drained everybody. I mean, the team just went flat after that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just sad. He ended up getting benched.
Right.
After that second interception. I just feel like it's going to be a repeat this week because I hope not. I hope it's not a repeat because I think the team is improved with the new play calling and the changes with the coaches. What's your feeling on that?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on it yesterday as well in our other show. Uh, I think I seen a lot of good stuff from Scott Turner this past
Hmm.
week against the Dolphins. I seen um, some more motions, some different kind of play calls, as in like a play action and then a screen right behind that play action to get the defense off guard. I seen a couple of those. I thought those were really nice, honestly. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's only one game. Like we also said, the Raiders were moving the ball; they just could not get into the end zone. So if we can fix that, I mean, he's gonna have his work cut out for him this week because that Broncos defense, like we've been saying, is really good. So this is really a bar test to see how good of an offensive play caller, how good of a chess master Scott Turner can be. So
Yeah.
I have high hopes in his play calling and especially with Norv Turner in the box with him too. You know, them bouncing off ideas can only be good. Um, but yeah, I hope I have high hopes. So I don't know. I don't know though.
I think the other thing that helps is like if you just look at the roster, right, just on the offensive line alone. I got it written down here. So when we played them earlier this season, this is what our offensive line consisted of. It was Colt Miller at left tackle. JPJ was playing left guard. James was still our center. Parham was our right guard, and Glaze was our right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first game. So now this game, this week, this is what the lineup was on Sunday against the Dolphins. So I'm anticipating it's going to probably be the same this week,
Right.
possibly. Who knows? But on the left side, still Miller at tackle. You had Meredith playing left guard. JPJ with his first bona fide start at center. Parham at right guard, and Glaze at right tackle. So out of that list, the only weakness I see on this list is Parham is definitely the weakest of the five,
Mm-hmm.
and Meredith is behind him,
You're right.
or ahead of him, I should say. So I mean, your strengths are JPJ Miller and Glaze, and Miller's not even having a great year this year.
No, not really.
He's been thrown off with injuries, and I think it was also because just a constant mixing around of the offensive line. Granted, I know they're still feeling each other out because of the changes made with the coaches and everything, so they got to get used to playing with different guys on either side of them. But I have more hope this week against that front Denver defense with these five guys that I just listed that'll possibly be the starters for this Sunday
Mm-hmm.
versus what it was back in week 5.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah, and going back or keeping it offensively at least, we talked a little bit about Minshew and how he struggled against the Denver's defense and back in week 5 and how they've only gotten better. But Minshew's week 5 looks something like this: 12 for 17, 137 yards, one touchdown and two interceptions.
yeah,
So,
that's
not
bad.
yeah, not great. But like we also said, the Raiders looked good in the first half, and like you said, if you turn the TV off after basically that first quarter, I think we're up like 14. Uh, you would think that we dominated the Broncos, and we were just like,
Yeah,
you would have thought that honestly, because we were moving the ball up and down that field, we were making plays, and like we also touched on, Brock Bowers was coming out, so it's like it looked nice. And then all of a sudden, we're in the red zone, and Minshew rolls out. I see him looking at Brock Bowers. Like I know it's going to Brock Bowers. I seen the play multiple times. I watched it for my YouTube video. I watched the play at least like 10, 15 times. I was like, where is this ball going? He throws it behind Brock Bowers and a little too high, right into PS2's hands, takes it 105 yards or something like that. Just
yep.
yeah, you cannot have something like that happen. And like we also said earlier, Minshew always has a turnover. I think he has at least one turnover every single week. Or at least it feels like
Yeah,
that.
because he sucks.
Yeah, he's
He sucks.
he's not good at all.
I think that's written in his contract where he has to turn the ball over at least once or twice a game.
He gets the
I think
bonus
by
money.
he's contractually obligated to do that at least once a game.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if he does, I mean, he's hitting his bonuses because he's successful. Good God, dude!
Yeah,
Like,
it's
get a
a
grip on the ball.
it says in his contract you have to throw this year for put X quarterback here. Like you have to
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Part of your contract is you got to throw 15 interceptions. Oh, no problem. Mission accomplished.
And fumble the ball like 12 times too.
Oh my God. And people used to give Carr shit for fumbling a ball when he ran.
Yeah.
You know, Carr's Carr's issue though was he always tended to do it when he was near the end zone.
Right. And
You
then
know, he would
fumble it out
fumble
of
it
the back of the end zone. Yeah.
out of the back of the end zone, and
Yeah.
then at that point it's turnover. It's like, God damn it!
Yeah, the Cars
Even
fumble.
though they didn't even have to get the ball.
Yeah, the Cars fumble that really stands out to me is exactly what you just described. Reaching out for the pylon in the red zone against Dallas, I think it was in Oakland, and then he
Yeah.
gets hit. I want to say it was like Jeff Heath. He gets hit from Jeff Heath on the like the 1 yard line, fumbles a ball right out of the end zone, and we lose the game to Dallas.
Yeah, yeah. That's the type of shit Carr would do. Just not as often as Minshew. Minshew seems to
Yeah,
just not be able to hang on to the ball.
it's so bad. But, you know, a little bit of positive against the Broncos. The Raiders lead the all-time series against the Broncos 73, 55, and 2. So, what I want
Yeah.
to do here is, do you have a favorite memory when the Raiders, beat the Broncos, or a Raiders versus Broncos play or something? I mean, you've watched a lot more Raiders football than I
Uh,
have in my lifetime, so mine are probably all bad because we've been bad basically my whole life. So,
yeah, I'm trying to think if any really. You kind of caught me with that one.
mm,
Um, wow, that's a good question.
yeah. So I'll give you one. Well, I mean, I guess it's not even really. Well, okay, I'll give you one play and then uh what I really wanted to say. So the one play that really stands out to me was, and I thought we were Super Bowl bound to be honest. After was, and it wasn't even. I think it was like last year, maybe 2 years ago. It was
Hmm.
Derek Carr to Devontae Adams to end the game in overtime against Pat Surtain, who's supposed to be the best corner in football. Devontae Adams shakes him on a double move. Raiders win the game, and that's probably one of my favorite moments in recent memory, at
Yeah.
least. And then, of course, how can anybody else say besides the streak that we had against the Broncos? What was it?
Oh
It got
yeah, I
up
mean,
to
that was
eight.
awesome.
It got up to eight, I think it was. I mean,
Yeah.
that is just some great, memories that I know Raider fans will hold on to, and they tried to hold on to for as long as possible, of course. But of
Yeah.
course, it ended.
Tides are changing.
Yeah,
The tides are
exactly.
changing in the AFC West now,
Yeah, it ended.
unfortunately.
This year in week 5 that we already talked about, but there still is another streak. The Broncos have not won in Allegiant Stadium yet, so hopefully, but not hopefully, so we keep our draft position. The Raiders beat the Broncos in Allegiant this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I got the Browns game on right now. This isn't doing us any favors right now. Broncos, I mean, the Steelers are going to end up winning. They're up 19-18 right now.
Oh man.
So it's like, oh, you need Cleveland's been doing good all game, and with the heavy snow and everything, Winston just threw a freaking interception.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just still trying to think of a game that just sticks out. I really nothing really comes to mind, man. I
Mm.
don't know why. I just I don't. I know something I wish. Well, it did happen. I just wish they would have shut the stadium down. It was 2 years ago.
Uh
It
huh.
was 2 years ago at Mile High Stadium. They had a fire.
Oh, that's
um,
right. Yeah.
and did a number on the building on the stadium. I'd be like, you know, I used to be on the fire department myself, and I'd be like, yeah, that's let's go back in quarters. There's no fire here. If I was on, if I was on the first truck there, I would have been like, "Yep, nothing showing. We're clearing." Being a Raiders fan, going to the freaking Broncos stadium to put a fire out. No, I don't see
Yeah.
nothing. Smoke's pouring out of it. Nope, we're out of here.
Yeah.
I can't think of a Broncos play. I'll tell you one thing I did like was whenever we would get sacked Elway. God, I hated watching him play.
Yeah.
I hated playing against Elway back in the day. Oh God. Even now when I see him on TV, it just annoys the shit out of me. Just such a goofy looking dude. He looks like the horse logo on the side of the helmet, basically. He's just, it's just I don't know. I just
Yeah. Honestly.
not, nothing comes to memory as far as like a significant game that I can remember.
Mm-hmm. It's all good. But
Yeah.
so what is your prediction? I know we said some predictions, yesterday, but for maybe some people didn't watch
Mhm.
the show yesterday. For everyone that didn't see yesterday, what is your prediction for this game right here?
What did I say? I think we're gonna lose. What did I say? 32 to 14 is what I'm predicting.
Yeah, you had us losing
Um,
by a lot. I was like, bruh, come on.
yeah, Yeah, I just think we're gonna get smoked by them because their defense is better than it was when we played them the last time.
Yeah.
The only, like I said a few minutes ago, the only thing I hold any type of real hope for is our offensive line play being better than what it
Right.
has been.
Yeah.
And on the defensive side for us, it's a rookie quarterback. Blitz the shit out of him.
Mhm.
Just blitz him. Blitz the, do some safety blitzes. Get in this kid's face, rattle him. That's what nobody's doing. Get
Yeah.
in his face and disrupt him in the back.
Mhm.
If you do that, you might get them on a few, 3 and outs, which would be great.
Yeah.
Or might even force something to happen, like a fumble or he throws a bad pass. There's so many different things that you could do if you do a safety blitz every once in a while. You know, I mean, we this past week against Miami, we can't match them for speed with their wide receivers. It's just not going to happen. Those guys are
Yeah.
too fast. Between Waddle and Hill, they're too goddamn fast. And then you got A Chain coming out of the backfield. You
Mhm.
know, that would have been a perfect time to try and do some blitzes on him too, disrupt him a little bit more.
Right.
And they're not doing that. So I think that's another reason I'm hearing rumors that Graham might be on a hot seat coming up too.
Yeah, I seen a lot of
But
those
to
as
his
well.
defense, yeah, but to his defense though, I mean, how banged up is our defense? You've
Yeah.
already lost Wilkins. Losing him was huge. You
Mhm.
know, you lose Wilkins.
Marcus
Bennett's out.
Epps,
Epps has been out.
Kuntz.
Hobbs has been injured. Kuntz has been out since the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
Um, Jack Jones just got smacked,
Right.
this past weekend, so he's got bit by the injury bug too.
Diablo missed time.
So yeah, so I mean, on the defensive side, there's more players down on the defense than there is on the offense. Offense is just lack of talent,
Yeah, exactly.
in the skill positions. That's the big thing. Our receivers are short other than Jacoby.
Mhm.
You know, Tucker and um, oh my God, why can I not? I'm drawing a blank on his name.
DJ Turner.
Yeah, thank you, Tucker and Turner, TT. Um, they're both shorter guys.
Mhm.
Jacoby, I think, is the only one that's over 6 feet.
Yeah.
You know, so now you're going to rely more on you got to take advantage of the matchups or the mismatches with Bowers and Maya. Out there. Get them both involved. Get Maya involved in the passing game because everybody's going to expect us to throw it to Bowers.
Right.
You sneak him out in a short little flat, off to the side. Get Maya the ball. You
Yeah.
know, we've got a better chance of controlling the clock with this game against this defense by taking a little short little dinks and dunks passes up the field.
Mhm.
Just keep moving the ball, and then try and throw one deep. It's just that with Sertan back there, that secondary's good on Denver, man. They're
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any deep passes.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be a big complementary pieces offensively type of game.
Hmm.
Because Brock Bowers is obviously having a absolutely insane, season, but
Yeah,
in the first time that they played, he was still kind of an unknown. So that's how they weren't really, keying on him. They didn't know I think Devontae was still playing by then. Um but yeah, they didn't really know about Brock Bowers. But now, since he's having an absolute great season, I think they're gonna start keying on
yeah,
him, start having some more double teams on him, covering him over the top, trying to deny the ball to from getting to him. So I think Jacoby Myers is gonna be
yeah,
big, and then of course, like you said, Michael Mayer is gonna be really big. I like Michael Mayer a lot as a player, and I think he could possibly have a big game if they try to double Bowers a lot, or as often as I think they probably should.
yeah. I think another kid we need to really see what we've got in him is I don't even know how you pronounce his name.
Oh yeah, Lauby,
Lobby.
Dylan Lauby.
Yeah, bench Zeus for a game. Put him on on the on the bench and get Lobby in there a little bit more.
Yeah,
See what you got with him.
yeah.
What do you got to lose?
Exactly. I feel like we've seen him for like one play. He fumbled the ball and they didn't give him another chance. Like
Yeah,
I don't know
well, that
why.
also kills a player's confidence, especially a rookie,
Yeah,
or a young kid. kid, you kill their confidence by not letting them get right back in there.
Right.
That's what you need to do. You need to let these guys try and develop. I've said this. I think I said it last week on our show. At this stage of the game, we're not going to the playoffs. We're horrible.
Right.
It's all about evaluating your roster,
Exactly.
seeing what you've got with these players, especially these young kids. Which is why Ritter should be starting right now.
Yeah, I
You
think so
know,
as well.
give him more time behind center. Give him more time at practice with the first team, and get him more game time exposure. You know, this is what we need. Evaluate, evaluate, evaluate. And that's just what we're not doing. Yeah, they might be doing it in practice, but practice is practice.
Exactly.
Get him in game time situations, especially against a defense like Denver. See what he's got.
Yeah.
What do you got to lose? Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Because that's the worry part.
Yeah, then
He
we'd
gets
be
hurt, we're
really thin
screwed.
at quarterback for sure. We'd be
Yeah,
really thin.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, as far as the score, I think it's going to be about the same it was before. We lost 34-18. I don't think it's going to be far off from that this time either.
Yeah, I said yesterday, it's going to be probably a more defensive oriented. I think we'll try to hold on to the ball offensively. And I think I said, what did I say yesterday? Like 21-10 or something like that.
Yeah,
21.
you were a little bit more. You gave us more credit than
Yeah,
I did.
which I've always been kind of an over optimistic kind of like person when it comes to the Raiders, and it's hard, it's freaking hard, man.
It
But
is. It is.
yeah, I think it'll probably be more a lower scoring game. But I was wrong last time because I remember when I did my preview for the Broncos game the first week on my YouTube, I was like, yeah, I don't, you know what? I think the Raiders are gonna win, because I feel like I say the Raiders are gonna win every week, to be honest. But then I did the
Yeah.
reaction, and that's probably my one of, if not the highest viewed video that I have on my YouTube right now, because
Hmm.
they obliterated us. And I said, Bo Nix looked like he can be that next up kind of guy. Like he looked like he was Patrick Mahomes, or the Raiders defense made him look like he was like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen type guys out there. And I remember looking through the comments, and like people were saying, "Oh, we know Bo Nix is not like that. We know Bo Nix is like we're more realistic than you Raider fans." And then all of a sudden, I hear Bo Nix is next. Bo Nix is MVP, not just Rookie of the Year. Bo Nix is
Oh,
this. Bo Nix is
Jesus.
that. I've been seeing a lot of that stuff on social medias, and it's like, hey, I mean, I kind of called it first. It was against the Raiders that really brought him out. So yeah,
Yeah, because well, was it you that said you in last night's show that you liked him when he was coming out?
no, that was
Was it
Leo.
you?
Yeah, it was
Leo said
Leo.
it. All right. Yeah, I didn't want him. I'm glad we didn't end up with him.
Yeah, I said I didn't
Everybody's like,
like him
yeah, but
either.
look what he's doing now. I'm like, you can't equate what a player is doing now on a different team with a totally different coaching staff,
Hmm.
totally different talent. I mean, athletic ability is one thing. I get it, but you can't say that he wouldn't be doing the same thing he's doing now with us.
No,
Not with this team.
no.
Not with the talent we have. There's no way in hell. A player can only do so much based on what's around them. And
Yeah,
if he doesn't have talent around him in Vegas, then he's not going to put up the numbers or the wins like he's doing now in Denver. He's
right.
got a coach that's has been phenomenal with quarterbacks. I mean, you just got to look back at Drew Brees, what he did.
Hmm.
You know, you've got talent all around this kid. He doesn't only have one running back behind him. He's got like two or three that are good.
Right.
He's got an offensive line that's solid. That completely different. That's I hate it when people do that. Well, look what he's doing, like Daniels. Look what he's doing in Washington. Yeah, look who he's got for players and coaches.
Yeah.
We ain't got that. you know, that's what kills me. So I mean, yeah, he's a good player and everything. Yeah, we would be a little better off than what we are right now, but we wouldn't be in the same position they're in our division right now. Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. Just that defense alone took too much of a hit this year.
Right. Exactly. Well, I think we should move a little bit to talking about some more fun stuff, I would say. And that's some
Mhm.
rumors, coming up. There's always, at this time of the year, bad teams always have something to talk about, and the Raiders are a bad team right now. So we have something to look forward to. We're looking forward to
Mhm.
next year and possibilities, everything like that. So right here I have Raider rumors, head coach, quarterback, and offensive coordinator question mark. So the biggest rumor that I've seen on social media recently is the possibility of, of course everybody is like fire AP all of a sudden, but so if we do move on from AP, I've been seeing a lot of people say Mike Vrabel might be a possible candidate for the head coaching vacancy if there is one in Las Vegas. How do you feel about Mike Vrabel?
I still feel as though I still don't think firing AP is the answer.
Right.
Not after less than a full season under his belt. But just the name Vrabel intrigues me
Yeah.
because and some people be like, well, it's just another way. It's the Patriot way. Yeah, but not really though. I mean, if you think about it, yeah, he played for the Patriots. He went and coached in Tennessee, turned that team around.
Mm-hmm.
Made them competitive. Um, I don't look at him in the same light as I do with Josh uh, McDaniels.
McDaniels. Yeah.
McDaniels went to Denver and sucked.
Yeah.
They fired him in the same time frame we fired him. They gave him a year and a half, and then see you later.
Right.
You know, and then what did he do? He went back to New England again.
Yeah.
So with Vrabel, I think it's different. It is intriguing. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to him coming here as our head coach, provided provided the Giants fire Dable and Vrabel brings him as the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I like the matchup of those two together, in I want to say Oakland, in Vegas as the head coach and offensive coordinator. And both of them, yeah, they come from the Belichick coaching tree.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, coaches come from different coaches' coaching trees. So it just so happens that, I mean, Belichick was a good coach and he produced some really good assistants and coordinators and such. But you got to remember when Dayball was in New England, and I kind of know this living in New England, you
Right.
see it all the time. He was their tight ends coach when Gronk was there,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw what Gronk did.
A beast.
So
Yeah.
now you pair him, yeah, you pair him up now in Vegas with Bowers and a good rookie quarterback or a good quarterback. You're talking, you got something good here. If you could bring in a number one wide receiver paired with a great tight end like this kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at Kelsey and Hill when they were playing together in KC, how good those two were.
Yeah.
They played off each other. You couldn't double team either one of them because you double team one, that means the other one's out there just floating around.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know, so past history is there for Dable on what he turned Gronk into.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's intriguing. That's why I'm not so against getting rid of AP for him.
Yeah.
I still feel bad getting rid of AP, but
No, I
AP
totally
needs
feel
more
that.
experience. AP needs more experience.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Agreed. And I think AP has shown that, this year too, that he definitely does need more experience. But my thought behind the whole Vrabel thing is I've mentioned it before on this show, I believe, that I think that's Antonio Pierce's ceiling, that he can be one of those type guys like a Mike Vrabel and a oh my god, Detroit's head coach, Dan
Oh,
Campbell.
Dan Campbell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think AP can be one of those type of guys who changes the entire culture of just like those two did in their respective organizations, and now they're looked at, fondly. I think that
Mhm.
AP can be that kind of person. We just have to give it a little bit more time. Like
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's first two seasons, I think he won a total of like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah,
That
that wasn't good to start. But again, he built that team up though.
Exactly.
I mean, he just didn't have the talent. He's got the talent now. You
And
know. eh,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
And on top of that, Dan Campbell did not have to inherit everything that Josh McDaniels did to the Raiders prior to him taking over. Like Dan Campbell could start with a fresh new slate, no history of drama or anything like that. Antonio Pierce took over arguably one of the most dysfunctional teams and organizations, and you know, he did well at the end of last season. Obviously this year is not very good, but he
No.
still had to deal with all of that, and Dan Campbell did not. So I think it's kind of unfair to Antonio Pierce to be chanting his name at the end of the Broncos game last year to end the season, or yeah, to end the season last year, and then all of a sudden for everybody to be turning on him this year. You know,
Yeah.
there's been a
Well,
lot that has gone on to
excuse me.
with
Well,
this
you
year.
know what I think hurt too is you look at the team that McDaniels took over. So McDaniels took over a team that was right there.
Yep.
Like that team was just a player or two away from being a really good playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
And he just dismantled it.
Yeah.
Let Carr go in the fashion that he did. Brought in Garoppolo. That was failed attempt, and that's what ultimately got him fired last year.
Yep.
He took a team that was possibly a good playoff team and just trashed them.
Yeah.
And we're still paying the price for it. Again, I've said this before. We're at year two and a half. We're at 2.5 years from the day that um we're 2.5 years away from when McDaniels got hired. And
Yep.
I said it then that hiring this buffoon is going to set us back. And it's going to set us back 5 years. So we're 2.5 years into that again.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happens. This team is so dysfunctional. If AP would have taken over the team that McDaniels took over after Basashi was let go,
Oh
after
yeah.
That whole Gruden thing, you're talking a totally different result, I think.
Oh,
Because you're
definitely.
taking an established team with great players and the mindset to win because they were still wanting to play them because their mindset was set. That final season that Gruden was here, they were still in that Gruden mindset and playing like he wanted them to do
Yeah.
and playing his system.
Right.
You know, now it's like the playbook was like done up with crayons and markers or something. It's just it's just sad how much this team's changed in the last 2.5 years from what it was. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Definitely. It's been really yeah, it's been tough to be honest. So another rumor that I've been actually seeing a lot on social media is if the Giants decide to cut Daniel Jones, that one of the highest landing spots potentially is for him to come to Las Vegas. Now, I know that he is not having a good season.
oh,
I know that he's been, since his contract extension, it seemed like that was like a curse for him or something because he has not played well since then. But
yeah,
all that being said, I still don't want him. I definitely do not want him. He is terrible. I do not want a bad quarterback to come to the Raiders again. And yeah, I do not want him. I don't know why he's already getting
I don't
projected.
know.
He's already getting projected to go to the Raiders in the offseason. And I think that's just a dumb decision if that does happen. Honestly.
Oh, whoever made that prediction needs to be punched in the face. Number one. Number two, I he's horrible. I can't believe that a team would pay that much money for a guy that was mediocre at best before they signed him to that contract. He had one okay season where they went to the playoffs, and since then they've been shit.
Yeah.
He is not good. He makes bad decisions. Who I really feel bad for on that Giants team is Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, honestly.
That kid got stuck on that team. It just it's sad when you look at some of these players where they end up when they get drafted. No wonder Saquon got the hell out of there. You blame him? Look at
Yeah.
the situation he went through. He went from a shitty ass situation in New York. He went to Philly, and they're Super Bowl contenders. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
really playing like it sometimes, but they still got a better shot at making the playoffs and going further in the playoffs than the Giants are. The Giants aren't going anywhere.
No, really
You
though.
know, he, all those years of being in New York, and he's only gone to the playoffs one time.
Yeah.
A kid of that talent, that just sucks.
Yeah.
But it's just I feel bad for that kid for Neighbors. Even the running backs they have, Singletary. I got that kid Tracy on my
Tracy.
my
On your
fantasy
fantasy team?
roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked him up a few weeks ago. I mean, the kid's been great.
Yeah. He has
Cool.
been good.
But Daniel Jones is just trash. I mean, it's so bad that they're benching him because they're looking to get rid of him, and he's got one of those injury clauses.
Yeah.
So that's why they got him.
Just like
Same
what
thing we
happened to
did
Derek Carr.
with a car. Yep,
Yep.
yep. We didn't even want him in the building because if he slips and falls in the building, guess
Yeah.
what? Oh, we're on the hook for it. So we did the smart move by sending him home so he wasn't there, so he couldn't get hurt.
Right.
It just sucks. I still hate what we did to him. He got done dirty.
Yeah,
That
that
was
should
just
not have
wrong.
happened. That should not have happened, honestly. It all
Granted, I
stems
know.
from Josh McDaniels too,
Oh
honestly.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
McDaniels just didn't like him. Gruden loved him. You
Yeah.
know, it, to do something like that to a player that wanted to be here, that loved playing for the Raiders. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, I know there's tons of fans out there that didn't like him. I get it. You know, but it doesn't matter. You don't do a player like that. I don't care who they are, especially one that was there so long.
The one that is the franchise leading in passing yards gets done like
Yeah,
that. It's
exactly.
insane
Yeah.
to me, honestly. Yeah, that sucks. Um I think that's almost about it. Oh, offensive coordinator. I know we kind of, touched on it. We like Brian Dable for sure. I am right there in that same boat. I think if we
Yeah.
can get Brian Dable if he gets fired for sure, and whether that is coming with Mike Vrabel or staying if AP stays, I think Dable is still a good offensive coordinator, and he's shown that he can develop quarterbacks, especially in Buffalo, with Josh Allen, who's a top, I mean, three quarterback, I
He,
guess one would say.
oh, he's definitely. I'll tell you what. This year, I think he's number one.
Yeah, because Mahomes has not
I
been
don't
very
think
good this year.
Mahomes has lost not lost a step, but he just doesn't have it this year.
Yeah,
Again, with KC, it's their defense this year. It's not an offensive. It's not the offense that's doing it for him. Yeah, granted, he still brings them down the field on drives and gets the games, but
right.
it's the defense that's keeping them in it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, again, just look at our game with them. We lost by a touchdown. You
Exactly.
know, different players on defense would like if Wilkins played that game, we would have won that game. I honestly believe we would have.
I think so too.
You know,
Yeah.
but I mean, we just have to hope that if that's the case, and I mean, I just can't see Dayball being there another year. You
Yeah,
know,
I think if they end the season the way that they're already trending, I don't
hmm
think that he's gonna be there for next year for sure. Um, and then depending on what we do, like you already said, he has New England ties. We have Tom Brady in the building. Maybe
yep,
he gives a call to an old friend. That's what we can only hope. Honestly, what that respect that Tom Brady brings around the league, that he just he gets the answer of the phone call that we normally don't get, because he's Tom
yeah.
Brady. So that's what we can basically hope for.
Also, don't forget too. I mean, I don't know if you saw the news today. Um, Mark Davis just sold another 15% of the team to two investors too.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna
So
segue to.
that's gonna be two more voices that are probably gonna say, yeah, let's listen to Brady. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
that's the other thing you gotta look at too. It's just more ownership in Brady's corner. You
Right.
know,
Exactly.
so well, I mean, at this point, we just gotta hope for the best. I mean, I want to stay on to this game's over because this changes things for us. Because Cleveland's back up again. They're winning 24-19. There's 10 seconds left. The Steelers have the ball at the Browns' 45-yard line. They gotta get a touchdown. Field goal ain't doing shit.
Yeah. Definitely.
and it's snowing like a bastard there.
Where
Oh my
what
god.
where are the Steelers at on the field?
They're at Cleveland's 45-yard line, so they're just past
Oh,
the 50-yarder.
yeah.
So they're still out of field goal range,
Mhm.
especially in this weather.
Let
I
me
wouldn't
see.
I wouldn't want to have to kick in this, but again, a kick ain't gonna do shit for them.
Let me
So
look what
they're highlighting our game. They're advertising it right now for us with the Chiefs next Friday.
oh, that I think that's going to be a really good game. It's going to be tough, honestly.
I hope so. I
And
hope so.
and I think it's going to be rather cold too.
Well, it's in KC, so
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Let me look up what this does to our draft position.
Yeah, because if Cleveland wins this, they'll be 3-8. So that moves them further back in the draft, which is good for us. That should move us up at least one.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see where we are. I think we're at 4 right now. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, because the downside is if Cleveland loses and they stay tied with us, we get the tiebreak over them
Uh-huh.
because we beat them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that still keeps them the pick ahead of us.
right. Yeah, we're at 4 right now. We have Cleveland, New York, and the Jags ahead of us.
So we're at 31 right now. 6 seconds left to go. The play clock's at 10. No, they just took a timeout. Yep, Cleveland just took their last timeout. So we're at 6 seconds to go. They're at where are they? They're just showing the sideline right now. I want to see the field. Come on. 31, 6 seconds. Oh, Christ, that's not tough for me. They're showing a faraway shot, but the field's just all white. I can't see shit. They got to be about maybe the 40-yard line of the Browns.
Uh-huh.
They didn't get a first down, obviously. They're 31, so they were at the. Yeah, they got to be around the 40.
Yeah, it looks like we're lagging a little bit right
Yeah,
now.
they're
So
right on the 40-yard line right now. So they need 1 yard first down, but they got no timeouts. They got to go for a long one. They got to go for a Hail Mary. It's the only way they're going to be able to do this.
yeah.
And there it is. It's up in the air. Knock it down. Yep. Good job. Cleveland won.
All right.
Damn. Pittsburgh's 8-3 now. That's amazing.
That's insane.
Luckily, my pick'em league doesn't do. We don't do Thursday night games because I would have picked Pittsburgh. I wouldn't have picked Cleveland. Hell
Oh, for
no.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The hell is this? Oh wow! They have a fight in the end zone. There's a Browns player and a Steelers player, both with their helmets off, up against the wall right by the stands.
Well, those AFC North
Security
matches,
there pulling them apart. Oh yeah, this is like knockdown, punch him in the face type shit with these guys.
Yeah. So I mean, that definitely helps our case, at least in the draft order, I would believe, right? So we were projected at 4 right now.
Yeah.
At
That should move us up to 3.
Right, exactly. So
Because Cleveland would have been ahead of us because we beat them, but now they just won. They're a game up on us.
uh-huh.
So now if we lose, we stay at the same place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy.
We got 4 people in here, but nobody's saying anything in the chat.
Yeah,
Who's
guys.
there?
If you guys want to, get in on this chat, go ahead and just let us know. Leave some comments. I'll bring some up. Yeah, so it's looking like we're getting at least a top 5 pick this year. I know we talk a lot about, potential quarterbacks all the time. I feel like we've talked about it basically every single week. But, it's a really big topic because it is something that we need for sure. And a lot, another big story recently has been Shedeur Sanders. Thank you, God, every single week that the Raiders lose. Thank you, God. So, yeah, I don't know. I personally, I know a lot of Raider creators are big on Shedeur. I've honestly have warmed up to the idea of Shedeur Sanders more recently. Um,
Yeah.
I watched a little bit more tape. I want to say this past week, just because I wanted to see some more film on him. And I definitely have warmed up a little bit more than I was before. I was a little more pessimistic, but he's been doing recently really well, and especially against last week against Utah, where he had a good outing there. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're still on the. Are you? I never. Were you a Shador Sanders believer for sure?
I I wasn't
Mm.
at first. I was still kind of 50-50 between him and Ward.
Yeah.
Um, but then was it 2 weeks ago when he brought them back to win,
Oh
and
yeah.
Ward ended up losing that same weekend?
Yeah, that was 2 weeks
That
ago.
I was kind of slowly grabbing that handrail to jump on the Shador Sanders train.
Uh huh.
I mean, my hands on the rail. I'm not putting my foot on the step just yet.
Yeah.
Um, I I still want to see what happens for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, neither one of them are going to win the Heisman. Obviously, it's going to be Travis Hunter winning the Heisman, in my opinion. I mean, the kid is insane.
Ashton Genty.
You think he's going to win it?
Yeah. Well, I think
I,
Travis Hunter overtook his position this past week, but I think if Genty has another few like games that he's been having recently, it's gonna be Genty's to lose. I think honestly, and I
I
know.
still think as long as Travis keeps doing what he's doing, I think he's a shoo-in to get it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's hard to um deny, how great Travis Hunter has been, especially in, recent history. The really big two-way players have won the highs. If they put a production on both sides of the ball, the they mainly are up there in Heisman conversations. So Travis Hunter definitely deserves to be up there for sure, and especially.
I think if you look at Hunter, he plays three ways. If you think about it, he plays wide receiver, he plays secondary, and he's on special teams sometimes too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he's multifaceted. I mean, you got to look at it that way too. I mean, he's versatile.
Yeah, for sure. And no one has ever played the percentage of snaps that he's played on both sides of the ball. Like when Charles Woodson played or won the Heisman his year, he played mainly defense. He only played a small percentage of snaps offensively, and he still won the Heisman that year.
Yeah.
So that's like just
And
absolutely
look who he
insane.
beat out too. That's the other amazing part. Look at who he
Yeah.
beat out. He beat out Peyton
Peyton
Manning
Manning,
and
yeah.
Randy Moss.
Yeah,
And Randy Moss.
exactly.
You know, and look what those two went on to do in their careers. I mean, especially Peyton Manning. I mean, Peyton Manning is a special breed.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
talk about a guy that really didn't even need an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, honestly.
He went out there and he made his own plays half the time. Probably, in my opinion, like one of the smartest quarterbacks I've ever seen play was Peyton
Oh,
Manning.
for
You
sure.
know, as far as football smarts, and God, you know, to watch him play was just I loved watching him play. I just didn't like the way he played against us because he was so damn good.
Yeah,
You know,
honestly.
it just you just don't have that anymore with some of these quarterbacks. You know, they all need these special plays and you know the wristbands and you know
Yeah.
this guy, man, he just got up to the line. If he didn't like what he saw, bang, changed it. Nobody ever questioned. Coaches never questioned him.
Right,
You know,
exactly. I think Tom Brady explained the whole thing that's going on with the transition between college and the NFL like pretty spot on. He said that colleges used to want to run the pro style offense and they wanted to uh get kids ready to make that jump to the NFL because that it looks better for the program. But now it's more of just the team. It's just about what can you do for the school right now. Like we don't care what you do after. Like if you go onto the NFL, cool. If you don't, cool. Like it doesn't really matter to them now. So they're not wanting to um really train these kids to learn how to properly read a defense, how to properly make calls at the line. And it kind of sucks because like he said also we're pushing all these young guys, these young quarterbacks and expecting to put up results that they had like good careers in college and they're not because they're not trained to the pro level. Like you're not trained to
Yeah.
have that football IQ that you need to be successful in the NFL. So that kind
And
of
I
sucks.
I think the other impact too is the NILs.
Yeah.
The name, image, and likeness contracts these kids are getting too. So it changes their mindset in that aspect too. You know, whereas before, when kids, when they didn't have that, when they weren't making money while they were still in college, they did what they could so they didn't get hurt, and so they wanted, because if you didn't sign a pro contract coming out of college, like getting drafted or whatever, it was all for naught. I mean,
Right.
that's what it was. It was to stay healthy during their season. So, last thing you want to do is on your senior year or the year you're coming out in the draft is blow out your knee, in the Sugar Bowl,
Yeah, exactly.
and then you're screwed for the rest of your life, because you're gonna have that black mark on you from here on out, because everybody's gonna look, oh, he had an ACL replacement 2 years ago.
Mhm.
We don't know what we're getting with him.
Right.
So now it's already in this kid's head, and some kids just can't get out of that funk.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the college game has changed, the pro game, and everything's changed.
Mhm.
Now these athletes are just so much bigger, stronger, faster. You know,
Right.
so I mean, the game has definitely evolved. I'm just
Yeah, for
waiting for the
sure.
day that Elon Musk makes robotic football players. Nobody has to get hurt anymore. Yeah, but who's making the money? Oh, the owners will. We don't
Yeah,
play this. You
exactly.
know.
Then
So
definitely the
what do
NFL would
you?
definitely be rigged by then.
Oh God, yeah. Um, what are you doing next week for Thanksgiving?
Oh, I'm not completely sure yet, honestly. I was supposed to go to Arizona for some family out there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, I'm not sure because of schedule. Just started a new job, so I don't really know the scheduling on that. And then,
Yeah, true.
yeah, and then,
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is, I need time off to go to Arizona. You just started last week, kid.
yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. So I don't
Yeah.
want to pull one of those. And then, we were going to leave like rather late, and it was just kind of like it didn't really fit on like because I think from here it takes like 6 hours to get to where we're trying to go in Arizona.
Oh, you're
And
gonna drive? Yeah.
yeah, so it was like we didn't want to leave at like 8 o'clock at night, and then everybody's on the freeway. It takes a 6 hour trip to like a 12-hour trip, something crazy like that. Of course,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
want that to happen. So we're like, maybe not. So I'm not sure yet, honestly, still up in the air. But if that doesn't happen, I've been really wanting to make a turkey. To be honest, I haven't made a turkey um, ever, so I really want to make one. To be honest, so I'm hoping I can do that.
Well, you better hope you can still get one.
Yeah, exactly. That late in the
That's
game,
what you
huh?
gotta worry about. Yeah.
To get a little
Yeah.
butterball
I
turkey
mean,
like this big, looks like
we,
this
we,
a butterball turkey this big, and
yeah,
it'll be good.
e- either that, or just go get a chicken and roast the chicken. And
Yay!
that's a turkey.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that. It still kind of flies.
Yeah. Ours has been in the deep freezer out in the garage for, I don't know, the past month or two.
Uh huh.
My wife just took it out. Now today's Thursday,
Uh
so in the deep freezer, that thing's like set at like 0.
huh.
So she took it. She took it out of the deep freezer. I think she took it out today, or she's gonna take it out tomorrow. 'Cause that thing's gonna take days to
Oh
thaw.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like a 24 pound. It's a big fucking turkey.
Yeah, for
But yeah,
sure.
it takes a while for that shit to thaw out to where you can cook it. Yeah, we just do Thanksgiving. We just do it here at my house. My mother
Oh, that's
comes
cool.
up. She lives in the same state. You know, so we've got the four of us in the house. It's my wife and I, and then my daughter and my son-in-law are upstairs, and then actually, literally right up the street is my son and his wife and our granddaughter. So we usually all just do Thanksgiving here.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
So
Honestly.
yeah, it's a good day. It always is. Just
Yeah.
like Christmas, we do Christmas Eve here too. Everybody comes here, and Christmas Day, everybody goes and does their own thing. Christmas Day, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So
That's really cool.
I like it. I like this time of year.
Yeah,
Not
same.
so much for the cold, but just the holidays and everything. It's a cool time of the year.
Yeah. I
Uh,
love the cold over here. It gets freezing right now.
Yeah, again, freezing for you is 60 degrees.
Let's
And
see.
freezing for here, it gets into the, the teens and the negatives around here during the
It
winter when it's really freaking cold.
Yeah, I was freezing right now. Earlier it was warmer too, and I was still cold. It was 65 earlier, or no, 60 like 3 I think it was. But now it's 57, so it's
Yeah.
actually cold.
All right. So this weekend we got a home game against Denver.
Uh huh.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of the super fans are going to be in Vegas. I know Captain Jack's going to
Yeah.
Vegas this weekend. He looks like I think he's going to be doing a live show after the game on Sunday. So I think what I might do is as soon as I get home from the bar with the club, I'm gonna hop on and see if he's letting people in on the channel. I
Mm-hmm.
might try and get in with him. Um, what day are you gonna leave if you guys are heading to Arizona?
Probably Wednesday.
All right. So do we want to maybe do something Tuesday night?
Yeah. I
Do
would
the
that
show
would be good.
Tuesday, or we could skip it next week because it's gonna be a weird.
Well, most
Because if we
likely
can't do
it's looking like I'm not going, so
okay,
it should be fine. We probably should do it earlier, so we're not doing it on Thanksgiving though next week. Um,
well, yeah, that's why.
yeah, probably Tuesday. That would still work.
All right, we can do that because then on Wednesday we've got the Raider
The
Connection.
right.
That'll be Wednesday night. Um,
Yeah, shout out
and
the
then
Raider
Friday's the
Connection real
game.
quick too. If anybody
Yes, yes. Go
hasn't
ahead, you can do it.
new or doesn't know, we have a brand new live show including Jay Raider and Cheeto Linus. On Wednesdays we do a preview show for the upcoming game. That's going to be every single Wednesday. It's called the Raider Connection. It's going to be streaming on all of our platforms. Go ahead and give us a follow. Me, LV Raider 10, Jeff at New England Raiders Booster Clubs, Cheeto Linus, and Jay Raider. I think it was Jay Raider 505. I don't want to get his wrong, honestly.
Yeah. Oh God, I forget what it is off the top of my head.
Let me look because I don't want to get it wrong for him, honestly.
Yeah. No, I hear ya. I think it's
Um,
on mine.
it is J Raider underscore 505. So go ahead and give him a follow. We're all going to be live on all of our platforms, or at least all of our YouTubes. I know
Mhm.
Jay likes to go live on his Instagram as well, and so does Leo. But yeah, go ahead and give us a follow there every Wednesday. Go ahead and look out for that Raider Connection. It was fun yesterday. It was really
Yeah, it
good.
was. It was a good. That was a good show. That was good with the four of us on there. I like that format.
Yeah, same.
I think next Friday while we're playing, I think Turf does the Ultimate Raider Fan 32. I think he does his own. He does like a live show during the game,
Uh huh.
and I'll be home. I'm not going. I'm not going to be going to the bar or wherever. We're not going to watch the game as a group because guys still have to work on that day. So
Yeah.
I might just get on with him and watch the game that way.
Yeah, that would be really
Um,
cool, honestly.
and if he doesn't for whatever reason, then if you're gonna be home, maybe we can do something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But I definitely plan on seeing if he's doing one for us. If he's not doing one, then we can probably hook up and do something.
Yeah.
I gotta check with Leo. I don't know if they're going if he's going away for Thanksgiving and if he's
Mm,
not gonna be around unless
right.
he can do it remotely. So we'll have to find out if we're still doing a show Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
it's gonna be nice to have the next Sunday off next week too, though.
Yeah.
I just stay home and watch football all day. I love it. So
But yeah, I
I
think
got
that's
nothing
about
else.
it. Yeah, I think I am good as well. Go ahead, like we said earlier, go ahead and give us a follow, like, subscribe, leave some comments on anything we might have missed. You can see all of our socials right here on the screens. Go ahead and follow me at LVRated10. That's for everything. And then go ahead and for Jeff, where they can find you.
It's any underscore Raider Booster Club is our YouTube channel. That's also the same thing for Instagram, and for TikTok, it's NERB 2004. So until next week,
Yes, sir.
let's hope we can pull this one off. But yet still we want to lose because we want a good draft pick.
Jackson Dart.
Adios.
All right.
Salute.
Just win, baby.